Every so often a show comes along that gets people talking, that redefines a genre, infrequently these days, but one show has really got people talking, and everyone's got an opinion about it. Rising Star from Keshet Media Group is that show. And to tell you the truth, the facts, the figures, the innovation, the techniques, and the way that they have made this format work, I'd like to introduce Merav Shifman, Head of Innovation from Keshet Media Group.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rising Star case study. Well, I'm sure you're familiar with this image. Once upon a time, in a faraway country, and in another faraway country, and in another faraway country, there used to be singing competition shows where you see the judges sitting behind a desk and deciding who are the contestants that will go through to the seasons. We had this brand, we had it for a decade. In Israel, it was called A Star is Born. But things were going sour. Things weren't as brilliant as they used to be. The audience started to leave us and go as specifically the young ones. And I'm sure it's not, it's not just an Israel phenomenon. I mean, the X got axed from Fox, and I'm sure you know how American journalists like to find synonyms for the word decline when they talk about idols rating. So we knew we had a problem, and we knew we had to invent something new. And we were here at MIPCOM half a year ago, just after we launched, and we told you, listen to your viewers, listen to your audience, they know best. And our viewers told us these things. They told us, we are bored. It's not as exciting as it used to be. The auditions, they're still okay, but the rest of the season, it's flat, it's not interesting. And you all know that people stopped texting, stopped voting. So we knew we had to invent something new, and we took a huge risk, and we decided to change forever the genre of singing competition. We decided to start it live. On the very first day of the very first program, we're going live, and we delegated the power of decision to our viewers. It's no longer in our hands, it's their decision. And we are gathered here now to see the results of this experiment. So here are the results of Rising Star, first season ever. You can see on the graph a decade of A Star is Born, which was doing very well for us, and then came Rising Star, which did 25% higher ratings than our last season of A Star is Born, with 33.8% rating. And it's not just a number, it reflects all demographics that went up in terms of ratings. And I think the most crucial one are the young ones, the 12 to 17 age group. They're the one that left us. They're the one that in the past we used to tell them, shut down the TV, come talk to me. Now we have to tell them, put your mobile down. I mean, we're here, let's talk. So you can see what happened to them, and it's not by chance. I mean, in 2008, iPhone introduced 3G, and 2 years later, iPad came around, and the young viewers wanted to be on these devices, as not the television. And you can see that they came back for Rising Star, and it's only for this show. If I were to compare it to other shows in our territory, it's not the same number, 15% ratings for the 12 to 17 age group. So maybe now good parenting would be to tell them, open your mobile and come and watch Rising Star. So to conclude the ratings, as I said, 33.8% rating for the season with almost 50% share. Obviously, it was the #1 show almost in every week. And it's not just about watching the show, it's about participating in it. So we had 1.5 million applications download, and what's amazing is the number of votes, because you know that almost in every band that you need voting, the numbers are going down year by year. And this time we've made almost 10 times the number of Rising Star last season, because people were much more involved. How is it different? This is how the season looks like when you look on the graph of ratings from each launch to the end. You can see in the pink almost a flat line, and it's very unique. Normally in the gray, this actually reflects our old brand and even the X Factor in Israel. You know that people are interested in the audition. They're funny, they're hilarious, but then you move on to the next stage, and whatever format you've got, either you can call it the battles, the boot camp, judges' houses, Hollywood Week, the viewing drops because it's not as interesting as the auditions. And normally it drops between 20 to 25%. And then it takes time to pick up until the season moves into the live, and then you have to find whoever you want to support and to follow him through to the finals. Rising Star starts off live. It starts off in a way that the drama is there every time a singer goes out to the stage. Every time he's there, he needs to convince the audience to vote for him now. You don't wait till the end of the show. You don't wait for tomorrow to see what the viewers have decided. Your judgment is right now when you stand behind the screen and you're waiting it to go up, and you see whether the audience voted you through to the next level or not. And this is a long season. Israel has long seasons. You can see there are 24 episodes. On shorter version, it's maybe easier, but here it's a very unique phenomenon of interest throughout every stage of the season. And it's not just the season, it's also every cycle of audition or duel within the show. When we move to the second stage of the season, we have two contestants fighting each other. And the first one goes out to the stage. The screen is up, it's not down, and he has to decide. He sings for the first time, and he sets the bar for the next singer, his opponent, who's waiting behind stage. But the drama happens in both places at the same time. This is how this cycle looks like, and it happens about 5 to 6 times at every episode. The singer in front of the stage are singing. They're setting the bar. The time now is 9 o'clock in the evening. Backstage, their opponent is looking at what they're doing. It's 9:01. He's hoping for them to do as low as possible, the lowest number possible. They're singing in front of the stage. They've raised the bar to an amazing number of 85%. He's there wishing that he'll beat them. It's 9:04 now. Now they change places. He sings, he comes to the stage and he sings behind the screen. The screen is down again. In order to raise it, he needs the people to vote and to reach at least 86%. It's 9:07. It's almost closing time for the voting. It's 70 seconds to close the vote, and he only has 76%. In live time, in real time, he knows that he's going to lose. They're behind stage, and they know they've won. There is no other show that gives you this dramatic moment several times throughout the show. And all of this is dependent on the viewer's participation. So you get live drama created by your audience at every stage of the show, at every stage of the season, and at every minute of the show. I mentioned participation, and coming from Israel, we know we are the startup nation, high-tech, whatever, so we try to implement second screen, play along, wherever we can. But even in this ground, Rising Star, building on audience participation, set the record again. We had 30% conversion rate from people using the application to people watching the show. And actually, in every way we used participation, we set a record. Even in the Facebook activity, it's almost 3 times the number, the thumb rule number that Facebook itself gave us, with 31% active friends on Facebook. Participation, I think the most crucial part of it in the show wasn't just Facebook or the Instagram audition. I think the most important thing is that it was the first time that people watched a singing competition show, and they didn't just follow their favorite through to the final. They could vote against. They had a decision to make at every number, at every segment of the show, and they sat there watching, and they were involved every time, because saying no is sometimes even more interesting than saying yes for someone singing. So we saw gradually down the line of the season that people learned and were more involved in the negative voting and not just the positive ones. So participation was created, actively influenced the drama by our audience. So we're here telling you to delegate power to the audience and let them rule, but does democracy work? I mean, did they do it well? So here we can see the top 8 singers that our audience choose to pass through to the final. And sometimes when we talk after, I mean, it's really easy to stand here after the season finished, and I have really nice number to show you, but you can't imagine the stress we had when starting this show. And I'll share with you our first experiment on the first ever Rising Star show. We sat there in the control room, and of course we do have still control of the lineup, so we choose one of our favorite singers to go to stand up and sing first. We were certain she's going to reach the final, and she stood there on stage, and she had to audition live behind the screen. It is very stressful. It is very different than what you do when you're getting practice. And she wasn't that good, and the audience didn't pass her, and so did our judges. And we sat there, and they said, oh, God, maybe the audience doesn't get it. Maybe no one's going to go through. Maybe the screen will never rise for anyone. But on the second edition, it rised, and we realized that we can trust them, and collaborating with them is good for us. It makes a better brand. So let's see who they picked for the top 10. From the left, we can see over there the Gat brother. They are repented after their army service, and they are the first ever Orthodox singers on television. Next to them, we have Rinat, a finalist, which never performed publicly because she was embarrassed of her appearance. Moving to the right, we have Elias. He grew up in the most notorious slum in Israel and was abandoned by his father. People's choice. Next to him, Chen. She suffered abuse as a child, and she grew up in a boarding school. Next to her, Alon, who suffered a shell shock in the Lebanon war. He's now raising 4 children of his own. They're all singers, of course. And next to him, Tina, who was an immigrant born to poverty and raised by an alcoholic father. And lastly, our winner, who was a combat paratrooper and had a promising military career, but had to give it all up to support his family. If I were to tell you that this is the cast of the top 10 that we choose to the final, you were to say to me, you're manipulative, you're just making a dream team, that can't be possible. But that was our audience choice. So what they were telling us, that big stories count, and you have to have a compelling story and not just a nice voice in order to perform on television, in order to win a singing competition show. So taking all of this into consideration, what we're saying is your audience, let it rule. If you include your audience in your brand, if you trust him, they give back, they come, they watch, they play along, they participate. And we've learned that during the season of Rising Star. And when we arrived to the final, we took a different approach to promoting the final. Normally, you would put the spotlight on your finalists, and that would be the main interests towards the final. But this time, we changed the angle of the camera, and we said, we want to pay back our respect. We appreciate how involved was the audience through the season, and we showed the audience voting in a real way. So I want to show you the promo for the final of the first ever season of Rising Star.
עוד לא בניתי כפר, עוד לא מצאתי מים באמצע המדבר, עוד לא ציירתי פרח, עוד לא גיליתי איך תוביל אותי הדרך לאן אני הולך.
מחר.
Thank you. So we believe that we've changed the way people watch or participate in television, that we created a new way of TV, and we believe that this is going to be implemented in other genres in the future. And today is a very special day because tonight, actually, the first ever adaptation of Rising Star is going to be launched on Globo in Brazil under the name Superstar. And to hear a little bit about the international rollout of Rising Star, I'd like to invite to the stage my colleague, Granit Noham, who's the director of international production at Keshet. So I think the first question that I would like to ask you is, how does your first meeting with a client looks like?
Well, my first question would be, how well do you know the geeks, geniuses from digital? Those in the open space? Not so well? It's time to make friends. The question is really a question of collaboration of all the different aspects in this kind of a show. Unlike typical chain reaction of producing a show where it starts in the head of programming, then goes to the showrunner, and then after a while the digital and social media people knock on the door and say, can we play along? This is a show that in order to reach that incredible moment of lifting the screen in perfect synchronization with the Facebook photos and the judges' votes and the people in the audience and the band and the singer, everybody needs to work together from the very beginning. Creative, digital, technological, design, marketing, promotion, they all need to go through a unifying process of producing this show together from the very beginning. I think this is the secret to the success.
All right, so it sounds different.
You know, at the end of the day, you will discover that those geeks are pretty strong because they can make you lift a ton with just doing this.
So taking all into consideration, it sounds very different. Are there any new roles in this show?
Well, you've discussed elaborately the newest role on television, which is the viewer's role, the new showrunner. And that really creates a new need for a representative of the viewer. And that's the digital showrunner's job. And the digital showrunner is basically the eyes and ears of the viewer, of the new judge, of the new showrunner. You're accustomed to going to a control of a live show and seeing one control, one showrunner handling the entire operation. On Rising Star, you have two control rooms. One is handled by the showrunner, and one is handled entirely by the digital showrunner, preparing for endless scenarios. Will this contestant continue? Will he not? Are we going to change the contestant? Who is the 10th million voter? What's going to happen next? Check in, check out. We have two screens, two scripts, two systems, but they have to work hand in hand.
Okay, so that worked in Israel, but Israel is a small territory, and you're launching today in Brazil. How do you adapt to this huge amount of viewers?
Well, I think everybody in this auditorium know very well how to make their brand distinct, so that when a viewer tunes in America or in Hungary, the show would be recognized and be Rising Star regardless of the language, of the culture, of the needs. But the real challenge in this show was the digital challenge, because you really need to take a local app, which enabled 140,000 people to vote for the song, and create a global app factory that enables more than 25 territories to change features, to vote live, to handle many concurrent voters, much more than the population of Israel, in a very user-friendly manner.
All right, so you heard a lot about the new TV. I think that we've tried to share with you why this format is groundbreaking in the terms of its genre, and I'm sure you're all interested to see how it's going to implement, how are we going to use this new TV in the future. And I always thought Keshet is known for its innovative, thought-provoking, cutting-edge content. And yesterday I learned that we're also famous for our marketing. So putting these two together, I would love to invite to the stage Ran Telem, the VP programming of Keshet, but alas, all flights from Israel are booked. So bear with me 1 second while I'll call him, and he can tell you about our new show.
Merav? Merav? Is that you? Aren't you supposed to be at MIP? You want me to look like I'm really surprised, or like we planned this about a year ago and now we're just doing it? Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to Keshet. I'm actually on my way to my office, but I have to catch the elevator, so if I lose connection in about a second or so, don't worry. I'll call you guys No problem, okay? So if I can use this opportunity, I wanted to tell you a bit about a new format, which is called the elevator pitch. It's a great format. Let me just catch the elevator. Sorry. Okay. Hello. Hello. Say hello to all the nice and beautiful people at Keshet here. This woman on the side is actually the woman that the character of Carrie in Homeland is based on. So, Merav, as you can see, it's a bit crowded in here. I cannot tell you about the format. So, do you want me to show you the trailer?
How are you going to show us a trailer in an elevator?
You know, we have buttons for everything at Keshet. So, we have our regular buttons right here, but we also have a very, very special button for special occasions. So, I will break the class because it's a case of emergency. Here we go. All right, let me press the button. Okay, guys, you ready? Take a look at this.
Meet Sarah, a young entrepreneur with a great idea. She's about to take a 60-second elevator ride that could change her life. She's now on the ground floor, and her goal? To go straight to the top, where 5 tycoons await her. Now it's up to the viewers to decide. Will they take her all the way to the top? It all depends on her live elevator pitch. For the first time, the tycoons on the top floor will get immediate results from a live, real, mass market test by the entire nation. Standing on the ground floor, she pitches her brilliant idea live to the tycoons upstairs and the viewers at home. Now, viewers and tycoons must decide on the spot in real time, will they buy into this product or not? Time is limited. The ascending elevator is the ticking clock, and the nation must decide who will make an early departure at the ground floor and who will reach the top. Then, the happy entrepreneur will experience a time-limited bidding war between the tycoons, who voted for her on a fixed share of her venture. Who will give her the best offer and put their money where their vote is? The live elevator pitch. It's up to the viewers to decide. Will you go straight to the top, or are you going nowhere? It all comes down to your live elevator pitch.
So, this is our live elevator pitch. I hope you really, really liked it. Not that we're trying to sell you anything. We know this is a respectable event. And also, we believe in sophisticated, elegant, petite, very, very accurate kind of marketing. So don't feel any pressure to come visit us at our stand and meet. It's been nice talking to you. Bye-bye.
Ron just texted me that he found a seat on a flight over here, so you'll be able to meet him if you want. And this was a glimpse to our new TV. So thank you very much. Thank you, Granit.
Thank you.